So I learned a very important lesson recently on the topic of discernment. And it took me entirely too long for me to learn this. It actually had to come up several times in my life for me to really understand it, and even going to the extremes so that I could really learn this lesson of discernment. And what I mean by discernment is that I know what's true for me and when I hear something, and so I can discern whether or not that's truth or not. And what often gets people into trouble, what's gotten me into trouble before, is putting too much faith and trust in outside sources. So this can happen often. A couple of examples, especially with authority figures such as doctors, nutritionists, any person of expertise in their field, coaches, religious leaders, spiritual leaders. I mean, the list can go on, right? Really, it can come from anywhere. That, the world's full of advice and guidance for you, and some of it's really good for you and that you need to hear. But the key is to have enough discernment to be able to tell, what nuggets in there are for me, and what pieces of information in there is kind of like baggage that's coming from that person that's giving the message, right? Because we all have our own baggage or influence, if you will. My journey has taken me on a certain life path that has influenced and will influence some of the guidance that I give. And is that all 100% for you? Probably not. But there's information in there that's for you, right? And so as much as I try to be a clean and clear channel for that, everyone has influence that can kind of cloud what you're receiving. And so really trying to understand what is true for you when you receive information, and if you're having trouble with this, then look to the body, because the body doesn't lie. It's full of wisdom and a great channel of information for you if you're open to it. So for example, if a nutritionist told you to take certain, or some expert in their field of natural health told you to take all of these supplements, and you needed all these supplements, but when you try to take this one supplement, you choke on it, you gag, you don't like it. And that's a very clear sign that your body's like, no, I don't like this, I don't need this, there's another way. And even like foods, like throwing out the rule book on everything and really getting back into what's good for me, what's most supportive for me. And it's going to be different from everyone else because you're a totally unique individual. And what's supportive for you today, in this moment, may not be true next week. And so checking in all the time, is this good for me? Is this going to be supportive for my body? Is this going to be supportive for my energy? And what works for one is not going to work for the other, maybe the total opposite. And so we're not here to judge that. It's more of a message around like what's good for you, and pulling out the truths from all of the sources of information available out there on what's true for you, what works for you, and not putting all of our faith and trust in any source other than your own, and allowing all of the information that's coming to you to really get filtered through all of your filters and decide, is this true for me? Checking in, is this true for me? I have stumbled on this too many times to not share this message, and not have really learned it this time, hopefully. That no one outside of you knows what's best for you or what information is true other than you. And so giving yourself the permission that you are your own authority and that you have the power, and don't give that away to others, because that's how we give our power away, is by trusting so much in someone else, any other source, authority figure or not. You've given your power to them. Said, tell me what to do. And it's okay if you don't know and you need help. That's totally okay. Reach out to those that you feel most aligned with, and that they have a genuine integrity to help you. But when we just like hand over all of our faith and trust to something else, someone else, then that's never a good thing. So always run it through your own filters. You know what's best for you.